My name's Caitlin Walker and I'm an education and business consultant, and I specialise in creating learning-to-learn organisations. The metaphor I've got in my mind for it is I'm trying to get them to have a relationship, often with their unconscious patterns.
The themes that we'll cover are when you're learning really well, when you're absolutely learning at your best, you're like what? How do you stay in a great learning state almost no matter what happens around you, and making sure that you get what you need while you're at university?
As a whole system, it releases staff from having to be responsible for their students' learning. It releases staff to be responsible for teaching and students to be responsible for learning, and I think that's vital. If you had a body of students who knew their learning styles, knew their learning preferences, had been trained to get themselves into a good state before they went into a lecture, who'd been trained to manage their time, to get assignments in on time, then the lecturers could then just go on to lecture at their best and not have to worry about all the different learning styles in the room. Lecturers take care of their state, students take care of their state, and everyone is actually just learning more easily together.
I had a hard time buying into the whole PDP, personal development planning. It was tough. I saw it as a waste of time to begin with.
You've got to be prepared that in a group of students, when you first ask them, when you're learning really well, you're like what? You'll get a lot of what? But you'll get one or two who'll have a straight away an answer. So you get somebody who'll go, I'm a cheater. I'm really fast, I go for it, I know where I want to go, and I just keep going. So I'll say, who's not like that? And you get a different answer.
That was a question that I thought, that's just unanswerable. And it was all quite confusing, but then that word reflection.
When you're learning really well, you're like what? Who's different?
I like to work in a pack. It's got to be in a team, otherwise I feel lost. I like to be at the same point as everyone else. If everyone else goes ahead of me, I don't give up, but I don't feel I can go to anyone then.
He needs to make sure that he keeps it up enough with his studying so he's more or less in the centre of the pack. He doesn't need to rush ahead. There's going to be some people in this room that need to lead, otherwise they're lost. That's not going to be you.
And then from those they start going, oh well, I'm really well organised and neat and tidy. And you just accept that. It's just when you're well organised, neat and tidy, what happens next?
When I was at school, everyone used to take the mickey out of me because everything I do has to be in colour. And I use an A3 sheet, massive sheet to revise, and I'd literally have like 10 words on one sheet, and every single word would be a different colour.
I have to be doing something to learn it at my best.
Okay,
If I can go over it, if it's an active thing, I can go over it and over and over it again, realise my problems. But if it's just somebody standing there talking to me, I just get so switched off.
Myself, I learn best by reading it myself, watching others, and also writing, reading back what I've written, comparing to journals, and you need to explore that. There's so many different avenues of that learning experience.
It can be hard to know why you're doing it at first, which is why what I'm so pleased about with this university is they've embedded it into the programme, because it becomes the way we do things around here, and so it's not so weird because we're all doing it. If you've got a student body who've considered the way they make decisions, the tutor can say, you've got a big decision to make, how do you make decisions? And they can talk them through it because they've got a shared vocabulary, and the student can then make the decision from a place of deep thinking rather than reactive or indecision. They can actually choose to make decisions well.
Through PDP, I honestly believe the tools that I was given through university and the exploration of yourself and the reflection of the work that you're doing and how you best learn has helped me achieve what I wanted to.
How do you think about time? When you're setting goals for yourselves, are you best off to set them a week in advance? Or do you actually need a really long-term goal? What are some things you thought you'd never be able to do, but now you can do? And how did you come to do them?
The key of why it's working so well now is the staff have bought into it. They are generating new things of their own. They're trying it in different areas, not just with their students, but they're trying it with each other, giving cleaner feedback to each other, setting their states before they go into conferences. So it's starting to generate itself now, it's starting to have its own legs.
Through the tools the tutors give you, this all becomes a lot easier, rather than thinking, I want that first class degree, how I'm going to do it, because otherwise it's just going to be this crazy map with no particular direction, and you're just all over the place. Where if you used your personal development planning correctly and your goal setting booklets and make out this gradual step-by-step plan, and you're in that one direction. It keeps you focused and you can achieve absolutely anything you want to.